Now, Indian households continue to feel the pinch of rising prices of essential vegetables like onions, tomatoes and potatoes. In September, inflation hit a 9-month high, driven by costly vegetables, as per LocalCircles survey. Now, nearly 30% of Indian households cut consumption of essential and green vegetables in order to stay within their budget. However, 40% continue to buy the same quantity of vegetables by burning a bigger hole in their pockets. LocalCircles, which periodically tracks the impact of higher prices of essentials, covered over 40,000 respondents from 351 districts of India in this survey. Joining us now to discuss this further is Sachin Taparia, Chairman and CEO of LocalCircles. Sachin, many thanks for joining us. Let's go over some of those findings, Sachin. It seems like inflation is hurting the average consumer at this point in time. Now, this is a large survey of 40,000 people. Take us through the questions that were asked and the key responses that came in.
So absolutely, Shireen, there is a squeeze that is taking place, especially if you look at the lower class and the lower middle class and even the middle class. And that is being reported on LocalCircles on a regular basis. So in this survey, we basically asked two very pointed questions. The first one was around what is it that people are actually paying as a household for tomatoes, onion, and potatoes. And 56% of households that were in the survey, which went over 350 districts nearly, basically said that they're paying over 75 rupees a kg for tomato, over 50 rupees a kg for onion, and over 40 rupees a kg for potatoes. And the next, cohort, which was about 29%, basically are paying somewhere between 50 and 75 for tomatoes. So it's only about 6%, households that said that they were paying less than 50 rupees a kg for tomato, which is, likely in those areas where this particular commodity is grown. So there's very clearly a squeeze, people paying high prices. And when we asked, them in the second question as to how were they dealing with this squeeze, how has it affected budgets, 29% of households essentially are cutting back. So they are, to stay within the budget, they are consuming less of these green vegetables as well as the essential vegetables that we talked about. Another 42% are paying, and taking the hit. And then the remaining 29% are actually buying better. So if they were, let's say buying on a quick commerce platform, they are probably buying at a store or at an e-commerce platform. If they were buying on an e-commerce platform, they were likely now going into the market and buying these supplies. So very clearly, a squeeze and something that needs to be attended to. And this has been happening, literally every year come September, October. And I think we need some long-term solutions here that actually manage these better from a government standpoint. And then from a short-term standpoint, if some relief can be provided, whether through petrol or diesel prices or making a cut there like it was done last Diwali, I think it will definitely help the households.
Well, I don't know whether any of that is in the offing at this point in time or not, Sachin, but we're also now in the midst of the festive season, and I'm not sure whether you have a survey out on what festive spending is likely to result in, but what's the mood that you're picking up on so far?
We have. In fact, we have released a massive survey on that subject, Shireen. And the key finding that we have from that survey, the numbers are huge. 1.85 lakh crores of festive spending expected across the country. But here is the thing, the 2019 number was bigger than this year's number, and the 22 number was also bigger than this year's number. And this time we are seeing a very clear divide, Shireen, where almost it's 50-50. 50% of the households are going to be out and about spending. And, the another 50 essentially that's where the squeeze is, what we see in the 29% number of households cutting back. So that divide is becoming clearer and clearer. And I think that's something that the government has to, figure out ways of attending to.
All right, Sachin, we will leave it there. Appreciate you joining us here on CNBC-TV18. That's Sachin Taparia of LocalCircles.